And for further analysis, we are joined from Cairo by the researcher in political Islamist movements, Mr. Amr Farouk, and welcome to Qnews, sir. What role is Egypt currently playing in pushing for a permanent ceasefire and post-war reconstruction in Egypt? If you can share that with us, please.
The Egyptian state has always supported the Palestinian causes throughout the times, either on the issues of a ceasefire or a negotiation with the other parties, either from the US or Qatar and Israel. And it's the same for the armed factions. With respect to the consensus and finding a formula to the following day of the Gaza Strip concerning the governance and who's going to govern Gaza. As there is another problematic issues as other parties is trying to distract the other parties or the international parties against the Egyptian state to halt the deliveries of aid and all accusations coming from the Islamic Brotherhood, either within Israel, either from the arms of the Muslim Brotherhood that linked to Israel or through the international organizations in crippling the Egyptian state. And all these issues are not true, as Egypt steadfast stands regarding the Palestinian cause as a main pillar and the determinant of the national security that has a doctrine dimensions within the Arab Islamic world. The Egyptians.
Okay, Mr. Farouk, can you please tell us how do you think Egypt has managed to maintain regional and international support despite the coordinated media and political campaigns against its Gaza stance?
The Egyptian state has stopped the project of forced displacement and into Sinai and entering the Middle East in another conflict in light of the variants that are taking place. The Israeli side is talking throughout all the arenas to change the map of the Middle East. Such a map started from displacing the Palestinian and the liquidation of the Palestinian cause. And the Egyptian state as a stumbling block towards such a project that undermined the Palestinian or aborting the Palestinian cause, as the Prime Minister of Israel is carrying new maps of the Middle East involving the Egyptian state in the conflict. So the issue of displacement of the Palestinians inside the Sinai.
This is Mr. Farouk, this is my next question regarding the displacement. And why do you think Egypt's rejection of forced displacement so crucial and central to its diplomatic messaging? And how is this received by the European partners?
Egypt's stance is very clear. The settlement of the Palestinians within Sinai. Sinai is for the Egyptians. Egypt's message is very clear before the international and regional communities. And we cannot, in Egypt, cannot involve in creating the alternative homeland for the Palestinians. And along with the support of the Egyptian people beside the Egyptian state, and would not allow to let the Palestinians to be entered within Sinai in maintaining the Palestinian cause, the Palestinian rights, calling on the two-state solution according to the international legitimacy. In the meantime, the Egyptian state on the diplomatic trajectory is exerting relentlessly efforts along with the regional international partners to halt such a project in order to liquidate the Palestinian cause and the establishing what is called the Eastern Riviera within Gaza. In the meantime, unfortunately, we are facing schemes are taking place by using the Muslim Brotherhood or to justify the Israeli crimes within the Gaza Strip. Who did this with the Gaza Strip? It's only Hamas movement as the armed factions of the Muslim Brotherhood. 7th of October, that's the main justification of such a crisis. And the Egyptian state cannot pay the bills of this crisis. Hamas is the one to bear such a criminal deed. The Palestinian faction should bear such a responsibility. The Zionist entity should be exposed before the international community for such crimes committed within Gaza Strip.
Yep.
Egypt cannot stand or bear such crimes. Egyptian state is very much interested of such a matter, maintaining the regional stability and the national security of Egypt, pursue with the level of humanitarian and moral strongly to maintain the rights of the Palestinian people and to prevent the displacement of the Palestinian people. Yes. But the reality we are even the international community did not support the Palestinian cause as Egypt did, never stand beside the Egyptian state as proposed before the political decision making abroad. Unfortunately,
Mr. Farouk, can I move to my next question, please? And if you can tell us, what are the underlying reasons, do you think, behind Fatah's strong condemnation of Hamas's recent statements against Egypt and Jordan?
Hamas movement wishes to wash their hands of what happened in the Gaza Strip. Now is bearing Egypt and Jordan the repercussions of such a crisis. Hamas is the first responsible for what happened in Gaza of devastation and killing innocent people. As all knows, the October 7 was just a justification, one of the tools to destroy the strip that way, along with the starvation of the Palestinian people. And now the Muslim Brotherhood coming out from the Israeli Zionist entity as the carrying or holding the Israeli nationals and beating the Egyptian state to uprise against the Palestinian state. This is unreasonable to support the Zionist entity and to be against the Palestinian people and taken to the street demonstration before the Egyptian embassies within Israel. Egypt is the responsible, Jordan is the responsible, and Hamas is washing their hands of what took place in the Gaza Strip. As I said to you before, the Muslim Brotherhood, either inside or abroad, is one of the pressure tools against the Arab regimes to pass the colonization schemes, either in Sinai or with regarding the full Middle East to change the Arab nations to small nations. So the Muslim Brotherhood, the spearhead of being used to destroy the area in that way within Israel through the Muslim Brotherhood, and what they are doing. Recently, the latest escalations of demonstrations within Israel or in other European countries containing or surrounding the Egyptian Jordanian embassies. This is just a distortion of the Egyptian image and its diplomacy. But in fact, let me say that within Palestine know very well what Egypt is doing for the sake of maintaining the rights of the Palestinian people. What has been narrated, they are just voices by the Muslim Brotherhood to be employed within Turkey or in London to attack the Egyptian state that way. The ultimate goal is trying to disrupt the Egyptian country to replicate what's happening in the 2011, such as the Arab Spring, like 2011. These things cannot be isolated to what's happening in Gaza Strip or in a bit of disrupting the spheres of the Egyptian embassy. You are before in a very actual war by using all instruments by disrupting the public opinion inside the country. This is already orchestrated, and we cannot consider it as random reactions. These are systematic campaigns by the currents of the Islamic politics, either by Hamas within Israel or the political wing through the international organization, its branches disseminated within the European countries.
Sir, to what extent do you think are Hamas's remarks undermining regional unity at a time when the Arab states led by Egypt are pushing for a ceasefire and statehood?
Hamas movement wishes to have the sole governance and to have its decision following the destruction of the Gaza Strip. Hamas do not care about the establishment of the Palestinian statehood according to the two-state solution. Hamas is always sit on the negotiation table and to come out with other announcements regardless of what's been taken through the negotiation. The Egyptian state, along with the other partners in Washington and in Al-Doha, with the issue of a ceasefire and rebuilding Gaza or the reconstruction of Gaza and finding a joint authority to govern the Gaza Strip, and in the meantime to surrender the Hamas arms. But Hamas very much insisted to ignite the tensions in the area. Hamas movement is a part and parcel of the Muslim Brotherhood to have solely to govern the Strip and to make the Gaza Strip to another repeated of October 7. According to my estimation, Hamas movement is just a tool and an instrument of the Zionist entities. This is the reality, says so. What all is being done by Hamas are just justification to failed negotiation, the ceasefire, to distortion of the image of the Egyptian state. This is what we've gained from Hamas movement.
Yep.
And Fatah is the one to run the Palestinian Authority. Hamas is always coming out of the drawn boundaries in order to live in a state of conflict by the Palestinian factions in governing Gaza. They even never respected the Egyptian proposals by establishing a committee that contained different factions. Such proposals laid down by Egypt, they are not just for the current situation, but throughout the past years in reaching such a matter and to be failed lately. And we found now statements by Hamas to issue a statement to foil the negotiations or the proposals stated by Egypt, either within the Palestinian parties or the U.S. with regard to the ceasefire or delivering the humanitarian aid. As we are before in a scenario that the Middle East before October 7th is completely different right now. What we are gaining now is due to the movement of Hamas that granted the Israeli entity to destroy the Gaza Strip.
And that was Mr. Amr Farouk from Cairo, the researcher in political Islamist movements. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today on Q News.